To have you, and I want to start with public safety, of course, and violent crime. I think that a lot of us, it seems like more and more there are so many gun violence issues, so many shootings that we're seeing lately. Tell us about the numbers that you're seeing and how you sort of process that in terms of public safety.
So crime overall is still down in Honolulu. However, we have crime, so we're not completely exonerated from all crime. Unfortunately, we have individuals out there that, for whatever reason, want what other people have and take things either by violence or by just general theft. And so with this crime that's ongoing, how do we as a Honolulu Police Department play into that? We have the men and women, both in uniform and civilian workforce, that's doing tremendous jobs and tremendous strides in helping law enforcement do all the requirements that it needs to do to get out there in front of crime. There's a lot of proactive policing that's ongoing, and that's kind of the numbers, as I think we'll get into as we continue this discussion, into the violent crime and why we see a rise in, say, weapons offenses. That doesn't mean crimes with weapons. That means offenses that involve you having a weapon of some kind that's illegal to possess. And our officers are finding those on the streets. And so that's why I believe it's one of the factors why that increase in crime is. We're not like mainland cities where people in the hundreds of homicides that they deal with. But one is too many in our state and city and county. So how do we as the Honolulu Police Department deal with all those? There has been an increase in homicides. We can attribute that to, unfortunately, the incident that happened in Manoa where one family of four was murdered in a suicide. And so that unfortunately raises the number. But again, 6, 7, 8, that's still too many. We've also had 8 people die on our highways. Only one by vehicle and the other one's by pedestrian, bicycle, or moped. And so what are we, how are we involved in helping enforcement on our highways to keep that safe and secure for all of our people too?
We want to talk about some of those specific cases that you mentioned, sure. But taking a broader perspective, you spoke to the commission just last week and gave some numbers about how Honolulu stacks up against some of the major cities. What can you share us about some of those numbers and what we're seeing overall with trends and any specific types of crime when it's comparable to other cities?
So we're seeing, I think what I alluded to, the weapons offenses, about a 43% increase. So many factors probably attributed to that increase, but one of which I believe is our Honolulu police officers proactively out on the streets, patrolling, investigating either covertly or overtly on patrol duties as our crime reduction units are out there, our narcotics vice and other entities are out there doing their job, trying to curb other crimes, are running across individuals that possess something that they shouldn't, such as a firearm. We also see an increase in firearms numbers that are firearms involved in cases, and so we're dealing with those. Last year we didn't keep statistics on ghost guns. This year we have. So if you looked at, say, a statistic, it would show, say, a 2,300% increase, only because we weren't tracking it last year. This year we are. And so we're involved in those. The numbers aren't high, but there are significant search warrants that we go on, whether it's an illegal game room or other operations, or at a shooting event, incident where somebody took it upon themselves to harm another person by gun violence. We're finding ghost guns in theirs or unregistered firearms. So what does that mean? Where are they coming from? How are they getting here? Working with our federal partners on trying to answer those questions. But those are all the things that we're dealing with.
And what are you finding in pursuing that? Where are these guns coming from?
That's just it. We don't have a good answer to that. We know they're coming from the mainland. They're coming in parts through the mail, or they're coming in people's baggage or home, whether they're shipping, home products here. And so they're coming either probably by mail or in person through the airports.
And that 43% uptick that you made reference to, are these registered guns? Are these all illegal weapons? Are these primarily those ghost guns that you're talking about? Is it a mix?
No, I think it's only a small percentage. There are other incidents such as switchblades, double-edged daggers, and things that are illegal to possess. Maybe another thing, you might carry a bat for a reason at your house because you're a baseball player, but if you have it in your car at 2 in the morning, ready to use it in a manner or carrying it in a manner that is a little more aggressive and you're not playing baseball, leads one to believe that you're carrying that for another purpose. And so that would be a statistic for a weapons offense. And so it's not necessarily a gun per se, and that increase is not just attributed to guns. It's attributed to a plethora of different devices that are dangerous and or illegal to carry in certain circumstances.
In just talking and sticking on this topic of guns overall, with the change that's happened with the concealed carry laws, have we seen any direct result of some of these changes in the laws in which what gun owners are allowed and where they're allowed to possess these firearms? What have you noticed since that transition has happened?
Nothing's come across my desk as of yet that attributed any crime to a license to carry individual. I believe there are a couple instances, two at the most. I think that we have to look at issued a license to carry, and then maybe they inadvertently carried the wrong weapon system. They probably have multiple guns. They had a license for a certain type, but they carried the other one. And so perhaps working through that, but those are things we're taking a look at. We're doing an investigation to make sure if you violated it clearly by the chief's rules and based on the law, then we have to revoke that permit. And so we're working through those issues.